Then Jesus' mother and brothers arrived. Standing outside, they sent someone in to call him. A crowd was sitting around him, and they told him, "Your mother and brothers are outside looking for you." "Who are my mother and brothers?" he asked. Then he looked at those seated in a circle around him and said, "Here are my mother and brothers. Whoever does God's will is my brother and sister and mother." I mean, this was basically Jesus saying, family, I love you, but I have to live my own life, and it's about doing God's will. And don't you know, I need to be about my Father's business? And this may be an issue for some of you today that you're dealing with just like Jesus did in this situation. Well, at this time, Mary and Jesus' brothers, they didn't get it. If they did believe he was the Messiah, they sure didn't see it playing out like this. I mean, he was supposed to be popular and rally the troops, and no mom wants to see her child fail, and that's what it appeared Jesus was doing. So you can imagine the sword piercing that was going on in her heart and soul during this time that was mentioned earlier. It didn't just happen at the cross. It happened all the way through Jesus' life as she watched. And there is a sense in which that is true for all parents, isn't it? That sword piercing. On one hand, Mary was eager for Jesus to assert himself and help people, and on the other hand, she wanted to protect him from pressure and danger and sought just to bring him home during that time. She was struggling with releasing him. For those of you who haven't done it, releasing your kids is very, very hard to do. It is mourning. It's mourning this passage of time that will never quite be the same again. And the senior year of high school is really bittersweet, and some of you can attest to that. With every one of your kids, but especially with your youngest, everything is the last concert, the last game, the last you name it. And parents who do this healthy, they will mourn throughout the whole senior year. I edit video, and for each girl's graduation party, high school graduation party, I would put together footage and pictures for their party. And as I was going through everything, I bawled like a baby. Some of you have done this as well with photos. But it is so healthy and therapeutic for me to process what is happening and to mourn the passing of this stage of life so that I could move on with my own life. Now, I can't believe it. Our youngest daughter, Becca, who's in California, she graduates next week from college. And when Tim and I were in California last month, we had to say goodbye to her one night, and we're going back to our hotel because we were flying out early the next morning. And it was so tough that night. We were both feeling so blue and so sad because we realized it was our last college visit. The next one was graduation. And so we are still going through many moments of releasing ourselves. But it's a vital and healthy stage for her. We're being selfish moms. If we just keep them home and just try to keep things how they've always been, it's not good for our kids. They need to learn to be thriving, independent adults. And in each stage of motherhood, I have really had to trust in God more and more. And releasing them is no exception. So, on a brighter note, we have so much fun with our kids. We really do, our adult kids. They're our favorite people to be with. When we get together, we are not responsible for them or their bills or their laundry or their jobs. I mean, we're done with that part of life. It's pretty great, I gotta tell you. We did our best. We did the best that we could. And now we get to enjoy their friendship. It is so awesome when they are adults. Now, it's definitely a mixed emotion as you go through this, moms. But it is God's plan for us to release our children. Thanks.